All right. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Good to see you. How's everyone doing today? All right. Give me just 1 second. All right. Well, good to be here. Want to thank you all for all the well wishes. I'm feeling much better this week. Last week was not the best week for me for the health anyway. Um, Went to the ER for a couple times during the week. My liver enzymes were really elevated. I think because of new medication that I was taking and not agreeing with me. So I was having a bit of chest pains. My blood pressure was pretty low, full body, severe hives. So not very pleasant, but like I said, feeling a lot better now. Guess I needed a bit of a break. And I just finished up 2 Reiki classes over the weekend, which was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed teaching Reiki to others. All right, how's everyone doing today? So we got 150 watching. Thank you all so much for being here. Oh, thank you, Cindy. All right. Thank you, Ness. So, a couple of announcements before we get started. I'll be honest, when I was recovering and had classes, I wasn't watching too much of the news, but it seems like a lot of big stuff going on right now. So, lots of things to look at. I will be on tonight with Susan Lynn. So, we'll have time to cover a lot of your questions, current political energies. Always a good time with Susan. So she'll be on tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. I will be off for next week and the rest of this week. I'm going on a vacation, so I'll be back in a couple weeks. Hopefully, all rested and feeling 100%. All right. So Susan will be on tonight. When I get back from my vacation on the 15th, I have a couple collaborations, I think mostly on others' channels. For my members, we do have our next members live Monday, June 23rd, where we'll do some mini personal readings, do a giveaway. I think that's about it for right now. All right, you guys, let me get some of these questions started for you. Thank you, Leslie. Look forward to hopefully having you and the members, seeing you in the members live. All right, let's see. Oh, you're all so sweet. Appreciate all of you. Sandy says, I'm second degree Reiki. My Reiki master never gave me my certificate and it has passed. Is there a way to get this? I mean, if they passed away, probably not, unfortunately, Sandy. Yes, Lisa, I'll be outside of Boston. All right, some good questions. Yeah, we're definitely going to look at Musk and Trump. As predicted, a big falling out between the two of them. And I believe that what I'm intuiting is it's just the start. It's just going to continue to grow. All right. I will say just intuitively what I've been picking up the last few days, even though the summer feels like it's going to be a lot of things coming to the surface and being revealed. So there's some momentum. As I've said in the past, I do feel like there is going to be some civil unrest, and we've seen some lone wolf terror instances, and I do see those continuing. Also, too, I'm kind of seeing like huge raids with, to me, it feels like ICE or some kind of like military intervention in with maybe some of the protests. So it's going to be a bit heavy, but like I said, a lot of things really coming to the surface, and finally, it feels like there's some momentum with things being uncovered. So, everybody, please stay safe. All right. So I had a couple questions. I got quite a bit started. And like I said, I'll be on with Susan tonight. So me and Susan always get into a lot of really great. It's kind of like a telepathic, psychic phone call between the two of us. Just kind of bounce hits off of each other. All right, I want to take a look at, we'll start off with Trump and Musk. Trump is furious. I know that Musk was supposed to leave Doge, I think, the end of May. So him leaving is with that timeline. But I believe that they're kind of, Trump is furious. He's trying to derail his big bullshit bill, his BBB. Let's take a look at them. I feel like it's just the start of that relationship really imploding. Take a look. What's the energy around Trump and Elon? Yeah, they're moving on from one another. Yeah, it's the end. But you know what? Interestingly enough, the cards aren't really too bad. A lot of major arcana, but I almost feel like they're both going down. They're both going to turn on each other, and as the ending of this partnership comes to play, it's like it's a turning point for both of them. They had really had a lot of hope for one another. Elon with getting resources, the connections, Trump with the money there, but it's crossed by trying to find that balance. It's trying to temper it. Yeah, very angry right now with the Ace of Wands underneath. A lot of fiery energy, but I almost feel like them revealing a lot on each other. Trump comes in as the emperor, feels like he needs to be in control of everything, and Elon has had it, kind of manipulating each other going forward. They're moving away, and it leads to the Wheel of Fortune. So their luck changing here, their partnership. They're both Page of Cups, so kind of out of their mind, not really with reality there. Interesting. Yeah, moving on, transition. I've often said too, I feel like when it gets really bad, I feel Elon's going to flee. See him leaving the country. Lots of major arcana with these cards that I threw, so it's really strong energies kind of pulling them apart. Mojo says Elon's going to tell everyone he cheated for Trump with Starlink. I don't think he's going to right away, because he's going to incriminate himself if he does that. But I feel like there's definitely going to be some leaks there. I did hear also, I think it was a court case in New York being brought up about like challenges to the Senate and presidential election, and things not adding up with that, which, you know, as I and others have said for a while, definitely a lot coming out about the interference in the last election. Yeah, he might be high when he does it. That's true. Yeah, he really wasn't too happy with, was it Washington Post? Whoever just came out on the big article about all of his drug use. But expect the blowout to get even bigger. I feel like Trump is on the edge of his seat, at the edge of his computer desk, waiting to kind of rip into Elon. They're telling him not to go after him right now, but he's not going to be able to control himself. All right. Interesting that with the budget, with the bill, you know, Elon's trying to blow it up. Now a bunch of House people that voted for it said that if they had to do it over again, they wouldn't have voted for it or didn't read the bill. As I've said, I do feel something's going to go through, but it does feel like it's not the current bill. Yeah, thank you. Let's take a look at the smart elections is going to court now. Let's take a look at that. Is this the start of the domino for more things to come in regards to the election? I do want to take a look at the budget too. Thank you, JC. And I believe Election Truth Alliance is actually, after I'm done going live, I think at 4 Eastern, they have a new live video coming up about smart elections in their court case. Let's take a look. Smart elections. Interference case. Well, 7 of Swords just flew out. The Steel here. I do feel more and more coming out. It does not feel like, you know, it's going to be all over the news tomorrow about the election. Feels like it's more towards the next couple months as we get into like August. But there may be some things that I do feel like there's like trickles of information coming out in the meantime. Oh, interesting. They're going to be successful with their case improving. It is a bit of an investigation still. It's not all proven, but they do. But we will get the information to that, to those that are, you know, sitting on their high horses and pumping all the money into the manipulation there. Information trickling out. Trump is going to be pissed. Trump with the foolish things, a new beginning for him with the 10 of Swords, so feeling backstabbed, betrayed, defeated. It is a bit of a waiting game with it, though. It's like all the hard work's getting in. We're kind of waiting for the good news to come in. And then you have the government coming in here, doing hopeful actions and bringing justice here. We know that the court system is not the quickest, but having these three cards as a final outcome, Hierophant, Star, and Justice, brings me a lot of hope. More illumination on that for sure. All right. So it's starting, you guys. More and more to come. It feels like there's a lot of something big happening towards the middle to end of this month. And then it feels like as we August, September being huge months as well. Oh yeah, and I predicted about Anonymous bringing some more information out too, and I heard that they have a big announcement. Yeah, they're releasing something big within the next month or two. All right. And it says they release it July 1st. That's their deadline. Well, let's take a look at that question, Lorraine. The election fraud is proven. What will the outcome be? I told you, I don't feel Trump serving the full four years. I don't even feel like he'll be in there by the end of this year, but I don't see JD Vance taking over either. It feels like the election is such a mess. I kind of feel like we're going to have some kind of interim president government until, I don't know, it feels like possibly a new election is what I'm picking up. Yeah, I don't feel Vance being president either. Let's take a look. You know, of course, this is for entertainment purposes only. I have to be careful with what I say here on YouTube. Yeah, Tower coming out. So something extremely big and damning for the election fraud. It's going to be shocking. Trump's going to crumble from it. Justice is coming. Tower brings justice. The truth. It brings endings, death. Changes for the power, the one holding power, the emperor, the dictator. At least resignation too. A lot of our allies working together with this Queen of Wands, giving the information here. There's whistleblowers. We've all felt a bit restricted, unable to move forward because of the steel. Somebody coming in with help here, and people walking away. I love how all four of these major arcana popped up together. Tower and Justice. It's going to be shocking. It's, like I said, the regime's going to crumble. The truth will be told. It'll be the ending for Trump. Okay. Like I said, I don't know exactly when. I do feel like the next few months are going to be pretty busy. No, yeah, end of MAGA too, because I feel like when Trump goes down, he's taken the whole current Republican Party down with him. That's true too. Now says Tower and Justice could be Supreme Court rulings too, due very soon. Yeah, I'd asked about the election interference though, and what's going to happen. Mimi says, will people react to the interim government panel? It's gonna be crazy regardless. You know, it's gonna be unprecedented. His base is his base. I do think some of them have had to kind of get a bit of a reality check with all the chaos that he's causing too, and he's affecting everybody. So I do feel like it has brought some awareness, but those that are, you know, deep in the cult, they're not gonna be okay with it. It's gonna be very hectic. But justice will prevail. Okay. And Karen says, will ICE be dismantled? I don't see them dismantling all of ICE even after Trump's gone, but I see massive investigations into it. And I do feel a lot of the agents who aren't really agents, I do feel a lot of them getting some prison time. But a lot of investigations into their illegal actions. Yeah, Sharon, it's going to take several years to undo all the crap that Trump and MAGA did. Mad Hog, will Taco still be alive for his birthday? I do feel he'll still be alive. But I shared something with the health coming big. It felt like a stroke. Let's take a look at his birthday parade. I wanted to take a look at that. Let's take a look. I know that there's several protests in June, and I see them continuing to grow and grow. Like I said, I do feel at some point there may be some kind of Trump trying to declare some kind of martial law or even send military in to stop the protests. When I focus in on Trump's birthday parade, he's going to say it's about his birthday, but it's actually, I think, to honor the military. So he's not being quite honest with it being about him. But I feel like the counter protests around the world are going to be huge. I feel like that's what we're going to be talking about. We're not going to be talking about Trump's parade. Let's take a look. January 6ers have to go back to jail. I don't see them being able to reverse the pardons, but I do feel a lot of them going back to jail because of their actions after being released. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm picking up at the No Kings protests going around the country because people are pissed. They're standing up. They're fighting back. We're all coming together, making deals together. And this is across aisles. You know, we're persevering. We're overcoming all of the obstacles that he's put in. We're going to see the hope. We're going to make the change. It may take a little bit of time, but then justice comes in. The truth will be revealed. Something about the energy for his military parade. I have the moon coming in, and something feels a little sketchy to me. I'm going to ask, is there going to be violence at these protests? Because I'm seeing some violence. Hey, Becky. Thank you. Got my taco costume for next March. Love it. There's going to be violence at these protests in June, for the month of June. Yeah, the tower. Something big is coming in. It feels like the same vibe when COVID was happening and Antifa was coming, you know? It has a very similar feeling. Yeah, there's plans. It could even be some terror incident here, unfortunately, you guys. Could be terror from across the world with the Two of Wands here. Ten of Swords. I do feel like there may be some deaths associated with this. Yeah, there's disappointment and sadness here. Like I said, you know, speak out, speak your truth, but be very safe. Be very aware of your the energy around you. You know, Nine of Swords. I do feel like there's some loss of life, unfortunately. And it could even be, it feels like it's in the US, but even another attack, you know, in Europe is what I'm picking up. All right. I've told you with all of the protest energy, which, like I said, it's going to be a great thing. It's going to continue to build. People are going to stand up. We're going to be one of the guardrails to keep our democracy in place. But there is going to be those that want to keep the current status of things, or people taking advantage of us coming up into big groups. I've been feeling that since we've been talking about the protests the last several months. Strong Little Mama says, if it turns out people paid for protests, could they go back to jail? Or if he is determined illegitimate president? I do feel like if people are paid, And there definitely was people that paid to be pardoned. Those ones could be revoked. But somebody asked about like the January 6th people. I don't feel like they're going to be able to reverse all of those pardons, but I see a lot of them going back to jail. Oh, you're welcome, Stephanie. She says, thank you for mentioning Election Truth Alliance. Yeah, I know that they have a live show, I think, in an hour about the smart elections case that we were reading on. Regina says, can you read on Pope Leo's event? Will it be how it will be received in Chicago? Excuse me. I believe it's virtual. I don't think he'll be there in person. Thank you, Ness. Yes, please hit the thumbs up. 1,000 people watching. I'm with you, Marilyn. Says if FDT is decertified as POTUS, those pardons should be revoked. I agree with you. They should be. I'm just saying intuitively, I'm feeling like a lot of them will not be. Yeah, it's virtual. Yeah, let's take a look. It's going to be a big deal in Chicago, though. I feel a lot of people out celebrating. King of Wands. So like that charismatic leader. And he really connects to people, I feel like, on a soul level too. He's very humble and really cares about everybody, you know. Very inclusive. I feel like it goes well. It's interesting because I do feel like there's a lot going on that day. Two of Wands, so it's kind of like a tug of war between Trump's parade, all of the protests. But I do feel like I see like everybody out in the streets in Chicago. Nine of Wands, perseverance, pushing through. People coming out to celebrate his new beginning. Wheel of Fortune here too. So it's kind of a turning point. I feel like he's going to be very engaging with those that come out. Does anybody know? I know that it's like I said, he's going to be virtual, but is there like a huge outdoor mass? Because I just feel like people like all throughout the city all coming together. I feel like he really connects well with them though too. It's going to be continuing to work hard. Abundance here too. All right. It's a video response. Okay. It feels like it's okay to me. Oh, Chicago's making it official holiday. Yeah, it feels big. Like the World Series, everybody out in the streets. That's what I'm seeing. A mass Cardinal Church will be there. Okay. Yeah, it'll be very well attended. Yeah, that's a good point. Leslie says, I don't think there's any framework for revoking pardons, but there's definitely should be some passed by Congress for the future. Lots of holes in our system that need plugged. Absolutely. And that's what I really see after Trump is out too. You know, we've all been kind of dealing with this PTSD and this nightmare for the last decade with Trump. But really what he's doing is he's showing all of the shortcomings of our government, all of the corruption. So when he's gone, we can actually rebuild and build a stronger country, you know, get rid of some of the corruption out of there, you know, all the money in politics, making our constitution stronger, putting those guardrails in check even stronger so that this never happens again. Strong Little Mama says, will Indiana turn purple at midterms? It feels like it's more purple than what it was in the past. I don't know if it still might be like a light pink is what I'm picking up, Strong Little Mama. But more purple. Like a very light purple, pink. I actually feel like when Trump is out, they may even really limit the pardon power of the president. I see them coming back and making changes to that. I feel like the president may still have some pardon power, but it's going to be a lot more limited than what it is right now. Oh, good question, Ness. How will Putin respond to Ukraine's amazing strategic attack? And I heard that they just had a big underwater attack too, like a submarine. Yeah, I see New Jersey staying blue, Sunny Valeria. I feel Virginia flipping blue with their governor's race and state house races too. Let's take a look at Putin. How will he respond? Well, I do see him continuing to retaliate. He's the King of Wands in this deck. In this deck, it's almost like the King of Wands is a bit mad, mental in the head. But he's crossed. He's opposed by the Ukrainian people not giving up. They're fighting back. Not being able to outsmart their strategy here with the Seven of Wands. The Russian people are just getting really tired of this. I see them at some point rising up against Putin. I don't see him being in there for much longer. Everybody's just tired of all the death and destruction, all the poverty here. I feel like the people of Russia are going to rise up against him. But I do feel he's going to continue to attack. All right. I love, though, that Ukraine is obviously they're not getting our help. And Trump was furious to hear about that drone attack. But why would Zelensky communicate with Trump? We all know who he's working with, whose side he's on. I love that Europe's stepping up to the plate and helping them with the intelligence and resources. Yeah, Zelensky had all the cards. Yeah, remember that? And I feel like Ukraine continuing with this offensive strike against Russia too. Who has all the cards now, Taco? I love it. All right, you guys. It's going to be a little bit shorter today. Probably be on for about another 10 minutes. But Susan Lynn will be on tonight, so that'll be a treat for you all. Yeah, I don't see a big turnout for Trump's parade, Deborah. When I read on it in the past, too, I kind of always got like a question mark. Is it going to actually happen? Like I said, I don't think it's technically to celebrate Trump, even though that's what he's saying it's for. But the counter protests are going to be huge. We're going to definitely be hearing them talking about it on the news. I wish I'm actually getting home from my trip probably on the 14th. And I'll be a bit out of the way from DC, but I would go down there to protest against his military parade if I didn't have to get back home. A little bit out of the way, but. Nidra says, will anyone in the regime be held accountable for their actions? Absolutely. Unfortunately, I don't feel Trump is long for this world, but I do see massive investigations. It's going to take a while to clean up after he's gone, but I do feel quite a few in his cabinet there'll be jail time for them, or losing their law license, that kind of thing. Thank you, Earth Mama. If anybody has any ideas for things to do on my trip, I'm going up to Salem, Cape Cod, out in that area. I'd love it. Send me an email or leave a comment on the video for any suggestions if you have any. Oh, absolutely. I do see Stephen Miller going to prison, Raymond. Thank you, Aries Fire. Appreciate that. Thank you, Libra Lady. The parade in DC, the U.S. Army will hold a parade in Washington, D.C. to celebrate its 250th anniversary. Absolutely. Trump will say it's to celebrate his birthday, but it's to celebrate the Army. Let's take a look at the budget, and then I'll throw some messages from Spirit cards for us on how we can handle this. But let's take a look at what's the energy around the big bullshit budget bill in the Senate. I see them. I do feel like there will be cuts still to Medicaid, but I see them having to go back on them some. So it's just going to continue to skyrocket the deficit. We know that the Republicans really don't care about the deficit or the economy. They only care about it when we have Democrats in office. Democrats have to come in to clean up their mess because they balloon the debt. Wisdom Seeker Jones says, go to Provincetown. I'm planning on it. definitely planning on going to Provincetown. Trump is going to start hitting those senators really hard, telling them that they're going to primary him. He's coming in here with the resignation. Threats to well, probably threats to their family, but then also to put money in an opponent. I do see them making some cuts to it, though, with the Ace of Swords. But like I said, I do feel like something is going to pass the Senate. Eight of Wands. Everybody's scrambling right now. Nobody's on the same page. All of the corruption's being exposed. Trying to run from it. You know, all the little things that have nothing to do with the budget that are in there. Okay, there's some tempering it. Kind of going back to the negotiation table. Justice coming in. I know that part that they put in there about courts not being able to hold him in contempt. I do see them removing that. Justice is there. Something does get passed, though, but like I said, it feels like it's much smaller. You know, it's crazy. I mean, with like Jody Ernst of Iowa saying, well, you know, we're all going to die, and just the lack of compassion for the poor, for the sick, for the hungry. They don't care. And then to kind of just double down on it too. And for what? So that they can give their wealthy donors and the rich tax breaks. JC says the budget does not include military spending, so the numbers are completely off. Yeah, it feels like they're spending, they're adding more to the deficit than they're saying, like 2 trillion. It feels like it's even more than that. I do see a lot of these Republicans, like Joni Ernst, really regretting kind of doubling down to take away medical services for her constituents and those on food stamps. I do see her losing her seat, Lisa. And there's already a Democrat, I think, that's jumping up to the spotlight now to challenge her. Yeah, all smoke and mirrors. All right, you guys. Let's end with a couple messages from Spirit. What does Spirit have? What guidance does Spirit have to share with us all right now? We've been in the storm for a while, but the storm is coming in big. There's movement. It's kind of like we're in the eye of the storm, waiting for like the second half of it is what I'm feeling. And then we're done with it. We just had to hang in there a little bit longer. All right, we have the Enlightenment card. That beautiful geometric shape with the earth in it. Enlightenment. Evolution is guaranteed. You're waking up from your old habits and patterns, At times, you may feel bewildered or not quite like yourself. Relax, all is well. You are just keeping up with your evolution and the life that you desire. Your body and mind are adjusting and adapting to your new and loving soul perspective. It's common for your mind or body to resist, react, or panic when you experience the unfamiliar or unknown. However, from this higher vantage, you can change any story that splits you in two and heal any wounds. You're not trying to replace a negative memory with a positive one. Instead, see all the components of a memory so a new conclusion can form. An unbalanced memory recreates the trauma every time it's talked about or remembered. This event or person will be blamed for the pain in your life today. A balanced memory has no charge or activation and becomes wisdom. You may even come to see a challenge as the best thing that ever happened to you. Once you change and heal your opinion, enlightenment will shine through as wisdom. What a beautiful message, and so true to what we're going through right now, you know? All of the adversities, the challenges that we go through in life are really those tests for us collectively. And we can choose to allow that hardship to consume us, to put us in a state of resistance, of fear, anger, allow that to consume us. Or we can rise above the fear and allow it to push us forward and to grow and to evolve. And with that comes the enlightenment, the wisdom. All right. Energy's been so heavy lately too. I know there's been a lot of solar flare activity. All right. I saw I had another super chat. Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate that. All right. All right, so we have onyx coming through, connecting to the earth and grounding, extreme grounding. Onyx brings vitality from the deep earth, shields from contagion and physical energy drain, deflects negative energy, joins root chakra with deep earth energy, can heal the feet, ankles, legs, and lower vertebrae. Onyx is deeply calming, protects against psychic and emotional depletion, calms mania, helps restore stability after mental breakdowns or psychotic breaks, helps in astral travel. Astral travelers return to the physical realm, restores harmony, harmonious relationships, absorbs emotional negativity. I have self-control. Yeah, I think onyx, black tourmaline, really good grounding stones and really good to kind of help protect yourself and shield yourself from all of the lower vibrational energy we're going through. Pull one more card for you guys. Marilyn Monroe says, Kevin, do you have guided meditations? The love in your voice is a comforting hug. Oh, thank you. I do Reiki healing meditations with holy fire energy. People seem to enjoy those. Yeah, onyx is a good one, Mark. Listen to life. I'm attentive to the world around me. Signs and symbols guide me to success. I listen and discover the way to the internal. Yeah, I think taking a moment just to be nice and present, to be aware of the signs, symbols that are guides the universe is sending us. I'm also feeling with pulling this card in, like I shared too. I think a lot of us are going to be going out to protest. Make sure that, you know, really tap in with your intuition just to make sure that you're safe. You listen, you look to the signs, maybe omens that are coming through. Just make sure that you're honoring that guidance that you're getting. If something doesn't feel quite right, listening to that intuition. Okay. All right, you guys, I will be on at 7 p.m. Eastern tonight with Susan Lynn. If we didn't get to your question, please come and join us. Susan and I often don't get to a whole lot of questions, but kind of cover a lot of current events. Like I said, there's kind of like a banter and like a game of psychic telephone where we're getting intuitive hits and bouncing them off each other. But I'm sure we will be reading on a lot of the current event energies. So if you'd like, please join us. And I will see you all soon, okay? All right. Take care, everyone. Hang in there. All right, bye.